This building holds just north of 80,000, and they have come out in very good numbers today at FedEx Field in Landover, Maryland. Today, it's a Week 9 matchup set to go here between the Minnesota Vikings and the Washington Commanders. The first 2 months of the regular season down. What will the final 2 bring us as we're off in Week 9? And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. They'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. Cousins. And he's got this to Jefferson. Touchdown! Justin Jefferson, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Vikings need just 2 plays on their opening drive to take the early lead. Joseph connects on the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Wishing he had a mulligan. That's not how you want to start the game.
Not at all, because not only do you give up the penalty and good field position, but it just kills the momentum of your team as you start a game.
A give up the middle to Gibson. And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. Eric Kendricks in on the tackle. This defense for the Vikings, they were excellent a week ago in the victory over Arizona.
It was a little bit enlightening talking with the defense coordinator about their performance last week, because the feeling was that it was a good, solid performance. They did what they needed to do to get the job done and get the win, but definitely a few lapses that they're looking to correct.
A loss on that play, and now 3rd down gets tougher, 3rd and 6.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively, because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
He's going to have the 1st down and then some. Touchdown, Washington. Jahan Dotson, 56 yards. And the Commanders are able to strike back quickly with an opening touchdown of their own. Extra point by Sly is up and good, and we are tied at 7. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And they are over 500 for the season, 4-3. They got back above 500 with a victory last week. And, Charles, you think this is a very important week for them, do you not?
I certainly do, because when you start to do the math, and yes, I'm using my fingers to count. If you're 4-4, the midway point, let's say you're saying 10 wins is your cutoff line for a playoff berth. It's usually right around that number. A loss here, all of a sudden you got to go 6-2 down the stretch just to reach 10 wins. That means this game is vital.
And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. 13 yards on his first catch. It's a 1st down as well.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there, because it's zone coverage. So timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a 1st down.
1st down, here's the run with Cook. And this time they were waiting for him as he'll be knocked down before he can get back to the line of scrimmage.
He's got exactly what you're looking for, the ability to not just diagnose a play and quickly, but to make a play as well. Nice job there tackling him for a loss.
2nd down, they go right back to Cook. And they will only extra yard here to the 38. Not much on that one, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped it. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
On third down, Cousins. Got an open man finding Jefferson. And he will have a Vikings first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. Cousins gives way to Cook as he's got this down inside the 40 to the 39. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber who runs like this early because they will pay dividends as the game progresses.
Off the play fake, Cousins. And his throw here's incomplete.
But he certainly did a nice job improvising there, extending the play, hoping someone would come up and downfield, but they never did.
The 8th play of the drive coming up. It's 3rd and 3. They'll run it. Here's Cook. And a good push up front, and he's able to navigate his way down inside the 30. It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first.
Well, partner, what do you think? Might have been 4-down territory if they didn't pick it up, but...
Yeah, it's a moot point now. I was curious, so if they didn't get it there, would they have gone for it? I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, we didn't have to make that call, but I have a feeling both of us would have said, go for it.
Cook on the first down carry there as he works his way forward for a gain of about 4.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
From the 25 on 2nd down, Cousins under pressure, and he'll go down. Sacked back at the 31. No surprise there. Chase Young breaks that play to the sack. Let's see him, Charles. He was sacked 6 times last week on the first quarter sack. What's going on in his mind?
Well, he's thinking to himself, 5 offensive linemen. I got sacked 6 times last week. Let's start thinking about keeping extra people in. Tight end stays in. If I have a fullback or the running back, they stay in and help me block. Maybe not as many receivers in a pattern. Anything to try and slow down that pass rush.
Middle of the field to Jefferson. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
And that could be one of those turning point plays in a ball game. A field goal gets you the lead here, but they want to make a statement and get 6 points. And they're certainly going to get that opportunity as they get the conversion and set up 1st and goal.
On play action, Cousins. He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown. Dalvin Cook from 3 yards out. And the Vikings have taken the lead. Joseph connects on the extra point, and that makes the score 14-7. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Taken in at the 3. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. As this offense comes back out here, Charles, they're trailing in this ball game. And they've been on the sideline for a while. They did score their last time out, but they just had to watch that long, sustained drive. So we'll see if they can shake the rust off.
Yeah, and that's always a question that you have when you have to come off the bench after having sat there for a long time. Are you ready to go? Are you loosened up? But even more so, are you mentally alert and ready to put your best product out there?
On 2nd down, a run with Gibson. And this is going to be a Commander's first down as the tackle made at about the 43-yard line.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on third down and pick up the first down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the first down. That's exactly what they did.
But now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
That certainly appeared to be a play call where they were just trying to make second down, second and short. I think they thought the coverage was off a little bit more than it was. Nice job there pressing up on it and forcing the incompletion.
To throw once more on second and 10. Wentz. That's going to be caught by Samuel. And they're going to get this up to midfield.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
From midfield, here's Wentz. He'll get this into the hands of Antonio Gibson. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings 28. Well, they were in search of a short gain on third down, and they wind up nabbing over 20 yards. On first and 10, it's Gibson. And just good downhill running there as he'll take this to the 15-yard line. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first.
Well, they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. And I believe that they've done that here in the first quarter.
From the red zone now, Wentz. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up second down.
Brandon, we saw these defenders flying to the football in their win last week, and nothing has changed. They're still moving around quickly and forcing incompletions.
Straight ahead, Gibson. He's going to get 4 out of this as he's down to the 10-yard line.
That second down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable third down because they had incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
Looking and finding Thomas in the end zone. Touchdown, Washington. 10 yards on the touchdown pass. And the Commanders are within an extra point of tying up this ball game. And he just did get those feet in there on the side of the end zone. Well done.
Probably the exact size foot necessary because I think if he had another half size, that catch doesn't count. And he's able to get it in, and it counts for a touchdown.
The extra point by Sly is up and good. And we are tied at 14. Pretty entertaining start. 14-all the score on EA Sports. This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. This will be fielded inside the 5. And he'll be out of bounds across the 25. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left. We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team, and that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
Now that's a mountain of a man to just make that stop, isn't it? But he's more than that. This guy's nimble and quick. More than a space eater. He just made a great play there.
This offense so far on third down, a perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. This is 3rd and 7. Open man is Thielen. It's complete. Touchdown, Vikings. Kirk Cousins with 3 touchdown passes now on the afternoon as they have taken the lead. Well, just a sensational start for this offense, Charles. 3 drives, 3 passing touchdowns.
Is that like mentioning a perfect game in baseball, or are we cool to do it here in football, partner?
No, I think you can do it here in football. I think perfect game in baseball, that's its own category.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Could not imagine a worse start for that secondary. Or let's face it, a better one for this offense. No chance they stop passing now the way that it's going. I think we'll continue to press the ball downfield and hopefully reap the same results.
Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. We have seen a lot of points here in this quarter. For us up here in the booth, it's been fun to watch. The defensive coordinators probably scratching their heads.
Yeah, they're going a little bit crazy right now. But
and looking for McLaurin, but this is intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Jordan Hicks. And the Vikings are going to take possession of the football. Well, he had to fit that into a pretty tight window over the middle. And, Charles, I think they were in zone defensively, weren't they?
They certainly were. Nice read on your part. And sometimes the quarterback isn't fooled between zone and man. Sometimes just fooled by the type of zone that he sees. Because oftentimes, those linebackers will vacate and run downfield with receivers. In this case, he played a pure zone that was in the wrong spot for the QB.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Up the middle, it's Cook. And they'll get him down right around the 16. Well, we looked at each other right when he flinched. We knew that flag was coming.
Yeah, offsides, easy call. Mark off the 5 and keep it moving.
So the penalty certainly helps them out as they come up on 2nd and 5. To throw is Cousins. He's going to get this one down to Cook. Touchdown! Dalvin Cook with touchdown number 2 in the game and now 11 on the year. And the Vikings are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Joseph connects on the extra point, and the lead now up to 14. Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. Taken in at the 3. And they will wrangle it down a couple yards shy of the 30. The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive. And he fires one that's intercepted. And the Vikings are going to take possession of the football.
So rare to see any quarterback toss back-to-back interceptions in the NFL, regardless of status or experience. Whether it's him personally or just the offensive game plan, I think this defense is reading something out there, and they're holding the upper hand.
They'll try the middle with Cook. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down.
Nice chunk of yards on first down. It really opens up your options for what you want to do on 2nd. You go right back to him and hope he explodes, or sucker the defense in before throwing over the top.
To throw on 2nd and 6. Cousins. And it's caught. Touchdown, Vikings. Justin Jefferson with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Vikings have moved out in front by 3 touchdowns. Joseph connects on the extra point. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. And Daniil Hunter, he's the one who gets in there and brings him down to the ground.
Well, that's what they have to do more of defensively, not just getting sacks, but have to keep getting in his face, not let him get his feet set and deliver. He's been carving them up previously.
Yeah, already has a couple of touchdown passes. About time they put a few grass stains on that. And pressure coming, and they got him once again. They brought him in off the corner, and he gets in to drop him for a loss of 4. So on 4th down, Washington going to call on Tress Way to punt it away. They punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt, and it will be Vikings ball, 1st and 10. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Well, everything right now that they touch on this side of the football, it seems to turn to gold. They've scored on 3 straight possessions. That lead continues to grow. And, I mean, if they can get points here, Charles, might almost be an insurmountable comeback for the other side.
I think you make a great case for that, so I'm going to flip it over to the other side. Could they make the big comeback? Certainly. Am I expecting it? Not at all. I think if we don't see a drastic change in how they're playing, this blowout's going to get bigger and bigger before the final gun.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work this to the 45.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. It makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
But just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive.
Just about every coach we talk to says the crowd shouldn't affect us. That shouldn't be an issue. And in the next breath, they talk about taking the crowd and taking them out of the game by picking up 1st downs and keeping them at bay. I think we just saw an example of that there, didn't we?
Important to do, especially early in the game like they have. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. Defensively, they had that one pretty well figured out.
Yeah, and one of the things about this play, it can be even more effective when you run a lot of motion, and there's plenty of times you don't hand it off.
From the 39, Cousins. He's got Smith here. Shreds him with a stiff arm. And they're going to have another 1st down here as the tackle's made at Washington's 27-yard line. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks. Cook up the gut. And nothing much materializing there on the 1st down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
They suspected it was a power play up the middle coming at them, and boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on 1st down.
From the 24, Cousins. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
Oftentimes when you're losing a game and the team's still throwing with this kind of a lead, you start playing a little more physically. And they took that opportunity right there to be extremely physical and force that incompletion.
Setting up the screen for Cook. And they're going to get this down inside the 15.
And when you have success throwing the football, the old cliche becomes true. The playbook opens up wide, and these screen passes, they become even more difficult to stop.
2 minutes remaining in this 1st half of football. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Here's Cousins. Now the pressure gets there, and he goes down just inside the 20 at the 19. Fedarian Mathis brings him down, and that's a play he's going to remember. The 1st sack of his NFL career.
Washington certainly loves to collect Alabama defensive linemen in the early rounds of the draft. And Fedarian Mathis, he's their latest pick in 2022. Really knows how to collapse a pocket and get upfield in a hurry.
After the sack on 1st down, Cousins. And this is going to be intercepted. picked off by Bobby McCain. And the Commanders are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. And Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete.
He took a shot there, but boy, was that ill-advised from my viewpoint. Coverage was awfully tight. How did he get away with that one not being picked off?
Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10. Now Wentz. He's going to drop this one down to Gibson. And Washington now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
As this old brain remembers, when I see 5 wide receivers on the field as a defender, I know the ball's coming out high. They expected it and got there and popped it free.
Wentz to throw for it on 4th. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Jordan Hicks. And the Vikings are going to have the short field here as they'll take over right at the 50. Well, there are several factors at play for why they face this deficit right now, Charles, but that's now 3 interceptions that he has thrown and just giving the football away pretty careless here in the opening half.
Yeah, I know that all of our parents taught us to share as youngsters. But in this game, you don't want to share with the other team. Keep it for yourself. Keep it for your team. Got to cut down on all of those throws, those errant passes, if they hope to get back into this game.
A good pickup there, 21 yards. Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half. So 3 seconds here remain in the half. On is the field goal unit to see about getting 3 points. Joseph's got it, and that will do it for this first half. So we hit halftime with our visitors, the Vikings, taking the lead to the locker room. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the 3rd quarter. Washington down on the scoreboard, but they are getting the football first here, and we are back underway on EA Sports. This one fielded at the 5. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. They look up at the scoreboard facing that deficit. A 3-score game, Charles, but look, there's plenty of time to go here. The old football cliche that comes to my mind is you can't get it all back at once. They probably need something, though, out of this drive, at least 3 points.
Are you trying to say that there's no 3-score drive on that play sheet for any of those coordinators? They just don't have it, right? You're trying to get it all back. You know you can't get it back in one drive, but maybe cut into it a little bit as you just suggested. Try and create a little bit of momentum, a little bit of a spark, and then maybe that'll carry over.
4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice gain like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
Just his second catch of the game so far. This one moves the chains. Play action. Now Wentz. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
Well, he certainly thought he had a window to push that ball downfield, but as soon as he released the throw, the corner was there to slam that window shut.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Here's a give to Gibson. And very little daylight there. He'll get a couple up to the 44.
And this is why aggressive defense coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
Now Wentz on 3rd down. Call that a loss of 7 to bring up 4th. Here's Tressway now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And no one there to stop it. Hits at the 8, but it carries all the way into the end zone for a touchback. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They start the drive with Cook. Room here to run. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 74 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon. So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10. Here's Cook again. And he edges forward but only gets a pair of yards out of it, and it's 2nd down.
It went right back to him, but he pretty much had nowhere to go on that play.
Yeah, the previous carry looked pretty good. That one, maybe he was a little tired. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he should have tapped out and had a second back come in and maybe make that run. Who knows?
And the Washington pressure gets to him, and he will go down. Dropped for a loss of 7 by multiple defenders.
All right, let's give them a little bit of applause here. Good for them because this has been a defensive nightmare for them thus far. At least they're finally getting a couple of big plays. Won't make the scoreboard of the ride home easier, but one good moment to watch in film next week.
Call it a gain of 4, but not enough. The punt team going to need to be summoned here on 4th down.
As much as I praise teams for being true to who they are, in this situation, I wonder if maybe they outguessed themselves a little bit. 3rd down, seemed like an obvious passing situation. They chose to run it and didn't get anywhere close to a 1st down.
On is Kern, the punter, to send this one away. 33 yards is the distance on the punt there. And the Commanders will take over with a 1st and 10. The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. A run here for J.D. McKissick. And some room to work. And out across midfield down to the 45. 24 yards the gain there. Another 1st down as well.
Not too shabby for his first carry of the game. That's exactly what most teams are looking for. A really good change of pace back.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. Wentz. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Harrison Smith. And the Vikings are going to have this short field here as they'll take over right at the 50. They'll still down quite a bit here, several scores, but yeah, at least that's a start, Charles, getting the interception here. And look, we're still in the 3rd quarter, so this thing not done yet.
You're right about that, Brandon. This defense, they haven't quit on this game. They stayed with it and got an interception and handed the ball back to their offense. And what you wonder about is the team that just threw that interception, they've got to be careful about developing a sense of complacency and thinking this game is over.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging into our second-half blowout material. Another tote for the workhorse this afternoon. It's Cook. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football. Sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Cousins now. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
Much like a running back going through the line, quarterbacks have to be aware of protecting the football as well. He left it exposed that time, wound up having it knocked free, but fortunately, had an alert teammate who was able to get it.
So possession still theirs, but now they face a 3rd down. Cousins. Oh, this will be incomplete. The rush gets home just as he was letting that go. That could have been worse. Instead, it's 4th down. Here's Brett Kern now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And they'll let this one go right on the outskirts of the 10. They'll down it at the 11-yard line. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. As this offense takes the field against CD. Remember last drive, they were moving the football, but then they threw that costly interception, so we'll see if they can right the ship here on this drive.
And doesn't that just sum up football? We see it all the time, don't we? The defense goes from losing the battle to making a huge play and stealing the momentum. So you know they're riding high right now, and they're ready to challenge this offense and that quarterback one more time.
And we'll see if the offense is up for that challenge here as things start to get more interesting here in this 2nd half. Give that sack to Harrison Phillips, the big man.
You can just see it in their body language. They're starting to see victory on the horizon now, and if it comes to fruition, they got to give a game ball to the front 7. Defensive line has taken charge and controlled this game. Face a challenge of stopping this opposing offense, and they've done so with ease.
Wentz and the Commanders staring down a 3rd and long now after that sack. Back to throw here. Completes it to Samuel. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. The defense shaking their heads, not aggressive enough, and they allow him to convert a 3rd and 18. Before they can snap it, time runs out on this 3rd quarter of play. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this 2nd half. Here's 1st and 10. Now Wentz. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. Well, we've talked about it, CD, but it bears repeating. They are struggling to throw the football. All the interceptions and more incompletions. It just doesn't look like things are in sync out there.
I would agree with that, and it's not a good day when you feel like an incomplete pass is almost a win for you because it wasn't intercepted. And I think the receivers now, when they're running their routes, they want to catch the ball, but they also want to make sure that the defenders don't take it away.
A 3-score game here late. You could probably rule out the comeback, but certainly some kind of a moral victory to be had if they can get a few more points to close things out. And to that end, a nice pass play there to push things downfield.
Yeah, and we know in this league, a loss is a loss, and no one wants anything to count as a moral victory or, boy, something that feels a little bit cheap. But if they trim that lead down to just 2 scores, that's still a benefit to this squad.
On the draw, it's Gibson. And he's going to get stopped up quickly. Give him a yard down to the 43.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
Washington on 3rd down. They've had good success, 5 for 8 to this point. This is 3rd and 9. Here's Wentz to throw. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
That incompletion brings us one step closer to the end of this one. Maybe mercifully, partner. And let's face it, though, no surprise, they're still flinging it around. They have pride, too.
Now Wentz, gotta have this one. That's complete. Terry McLaurin with it. And he'll be out of bounds about a half to a full yard shy of the 5. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th.
There's no doubt in my mind that not many guys in this league have had the impact that he's had here in the first half of the season. He's been a big play guy from the word go and continues to be one with another one right there.
They'll run with Gibson. 5 yards, a good run there, and now 2nd and goal.
It's largely been the air attack that's gotten them down here, but now is where you start to lean on that running game. That's a good pickup there on 1st and goal.
Gibson again, and he takes it in. Touchdown, Washington. Antonio Gibson, his 7th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Commanders are able to cut into that deficit. Wentz going to look to throw. And they're going to get the 2-point conversion, caught in the end zone. And that cuts the lead a bit further. Well, it's still an uphill battle from here, that's for sure. But that makes it a 2-score game.
And now we see why teams practice so much on the 2-point conversion, why you have more than one play ready. Because you may need multiples to throw out a ball game. There's a great example right there.
And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped at the 23-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Now all of a sudden we've got an interesting game here. You just saw them go down and score a touchdown. And what was a comfortable lead at halftime, it's down to a 2-score game.
And so the obvious thought is they've got to ramp things back up again. Got to get the offense into high gear. But we've seen this before. When you've kind of been in shutdown mode for a while thinking that you're okay, it's hard to mash the gas again and have everything work perfectly. They've got to fashion together a good drive right here and now.
Because defensively, got to be feeling confident. They haven't allowed a point this half. A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
And now offensively it's 3rd and 10, and I'm just thinking to myself, actors always say, what's my motivation before a big scene? Right now the play caller's thinking, what have I done before that's worked well that I can go to right now?
Yeah, because they were pretty successful. And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. Picked off by Kenny Young. And the Commanders are going to take possession of the football. And now with that interception, you feel like we got a ball game again. Remember, 2-score contest and still time left here in the 4th.
And in the old days, not too long gone either. Throwing the ball here would have been an absolute no-no, but the way the game's played now, throwing it makes sense. You just have to be careful when you put it in the air.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
It's easy to see when we review this that the ball needs to come out quicker, because if you don't throw it right on the break, you bring a crowd of people into the equation.
And that's why it got knocked away there. To throw again on 2nd down. Wentz. Thomas brings it in. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. A very nice pickup of 33 yards. He had one touchdown earlier, nearly a 2nd one there.
Yeah, it took a touchdown-saving tackle to keep him out of the end zone after a big play. Perhaps you go right back to him. Don't need the distance, but maybe he can pay things off after a big effort.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yeah, so let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They've given him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
will get down close to the goal line, but not in, as he'll be marked down at the 1. Calling a gain of 2 as they're knocking on the door now. 3rd and goal. Robinson. And Robinson will not get there. Great defense at the point of attack and is stopping short of the first. This defense not budging. Back-to-back carries of just 2 yards.
I know they're going through all the possibilities right now, but the truth of the matter is a field goal doesn't do them a ton of good. It'd still be a 2-score game, so to me, go for it. Go for it boldly.
They'll run for it with Robinson. And he'll be caught behind the line of scrimmage at the 3. They stop him on 4th and goal at the 3. And the Vikings, they come up big down near the goal line. Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. And he'll find a little space. He gets us up near the 10. 103 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. Now I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely. You want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on 3rd down. This defense starting to buckle down when they need to. And right now they're winning this 4th quarter, losing the game, but they're winning in the 4th quarter.
And what a fine line it is about what they're trying to get done, because they're down, so they obviously need the football, need a score. But they can't be so aggressive as to give up their edge, their gaps, and have the offense hit them with a big play.
And Washington now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter. The punt team on now is from their end zone. They get it away. Returnable here from the 38. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. A good return there, 17 yards. And Washington will have a short field here as they take over 1st and 10. Throwing now is Wentz. And my goodness, another interception. And the Vikings will take over here as they get it up to the 43-yard line. Well, there's 2 sides to this coin. I mean, on one side, 5 interceptions now thrown for them. That's tough. But, man, this defense, they have been ball hawking and impressive. But, Charles, let's flip it back over. If you're coaching a quarterback that's struggling this much at this stage of the game, do you maybe try to get him out?
I would think about it, and I think about it awfully hard, but also you might want to look into his eyes, see what he has. He might be one of those players that you don't want to affect his confidence by actually pulling him out of the game. So you have to know your player, you have to know the situation.
It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
7 yards there and a 1st down.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with, and throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a 1st down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this 2nd half. Here's 1st and 10. They run it again with Cook. And they'll be stopped right at the 30. On a play that started back at the 15, they pick up 15. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
If nothing else, they've already taken a couple minutes off the clock here already as they come up second down. Cousins gives way to Cook. Give him 3 yards, and now they're left needing a conversion here on 3rd and 6. The recipe's pretty simple, I think, right? Just give your superstar the ball, continue to feed him.
Yeah, don't overthink this one, right? Make sure he's touching the football, but you're also counting on his intelligence in playing the game as well. If it's not there, don't force the run. Just make sure you hang on to the football and keep the clock ticking.
So the final seconds have ticked away in this Minnesota victory, and it was a bit of a strange game. They were held scoreless through the entire second half, but their first half output, that's enough to carry them to victory.
And that's an odd game to watch, isn't it? Because when we saw the output in the first half,